Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.
Think you know what way it's going to go? Make your bet at Sports Interaction. Whether it's hockey, football, or basketball, Sports Interaction has you covered. Bet pregame, live and play, or on one of our many prop bets. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now and see all that sports betting has to offer. Want to bet? Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. What a way to clinch. How's it going, Oilers fans? Happy Saturday night. Oh, happy 50th goal anniversary, because it happens every year like clockwork. Oilers win 6-0 over the Anaheim Ducks. Yeah, not even a contest at all. I know Leon got a hat trick, and there's many awesome things that happened tonight, but you cannot deny that the sweetest part of the night, the absolute, more than a cherry on top, it's like finding $500 when you're walking your dog.
Dude, it's Campbell, not a cherry, it's the soul, it's the whole damn Sunday. We've been served this awful Jack Campbell, and today he pulled out the good shit. Right today, that soup was seasoned. It got herbs in it. It had the little fancy croutons, had the Parmesan on top.
Absolutely. Woo. That wasn't Olive Garden. That was a Michelin star restaurant level performance right there. What man, you couldn't be happier for him when the game ends, and you could just see him shaking. You know how happy he is. You see the congratulations out of Vander Kane when he's the first person in, hugging Jack Campbell gives him. Man, I know Leon got 50 and got a hat trick, but Jack's got to get that vest again tonight. He absolutely deserves it. What a performance. He was tracking the puck. The Ducks got lucky, but who doesn't get lucky when they get a shutout? Stu got lucky in the game against LA, right? It's just what happens. He played well. He played his angles. He wasn't as frantic. I saw Oil and Gold point out on Twitter that it looks like Jack Campbell was using another new glove tonight, so he's still kind of working with that equipment and still trying to figure out what's working for him this season, and seems like he found something good here. The Oilers, who would have thought, back-to-back shutouts, they now have the best goal differential in the Western Conference. They are cruising into the playoffs. I think it was fantastic to get that Leon 50th goal milestone out of the way going into LA, so it's not something kind of hanging on their shoulders. It's all business once again when you get back in a serious game. But yeah, now MGD says now only milestone left to hit this year is McDavid getting 70 goals. It's getting risky. It's getting risky, but we'll see.
Yo, can we acknowledge for a sec, Draisaitl, amazing, 50 goals, like you said, like clockwork. Dude's just on fire. The last 2 weeks, Leon was undoubtedly the best Oiler.
I think all of March.
2 weeks, all of March. Fuck, let's give it to him. Leon is playing at a whole nother level right now, and it is insane. But I also want to give out, like you said, Campbell outdueled 2 goalies tonight, both Gibson and Dostal.
Yeah.
The entire game. You know what? He was a little bit shaky in the beginning. Campbell had a couple of bobbles.
Strome had that chance that went off the post early. Jack makes the initial save, doesn't control the rebound. It goes, I think, to Strome, and Strome hits the post. But from there on, I have to say, I know Nestorenko or whatever his name is hit the post later in the third, but Anaheim didn't really have much. Jack was solid. Again, no complaints there. I want to give him credit. I'm very, very, very impressed with Jack Campbell's play, and absolutely when the Oilers needed it most. Going into the playoffs knowing that you can get a performance like that from Jack Campbell is phenomenal. Obviously, I think the way it's going to work is Stuart Skinner is going to get this next start in LA, but Jack, no matter what happens in LA, you go right back to Jack against Anaheim. You want to see if this continues, and you want to build on this, and this was fantastic. There were a number of things tonight that I think the Oilers can build on. I think it was an awesome game all around. John Gibson, you got to feel for the guy in the Anaheim net, right? Absolutely here. I see MGD in the chat says your volume is a little low.
My volume's a little low, apparently.
I'll try and fix that here.
Thank you, MGD, for pointing that out. All good. Well, while Zach gets that done on the back end, yeah, it's just, you feel for Gibson. Obviously, there's something going on in Anaheim, and we'll do our little bit of interlude on Anaheim, the opposing team, and then we'll jump back into others talk. But there's something about this team where it was so scary back in the day. When it was that decade of darkness for the Oilers, Anaheim was always a daunting team. And of course, there was the 17 playoff series. 2017 was a nightmare for a lot of people, the hold on the pad, all of that nonsense. But now Anaheim's just jumped into this horrible slump, and they seem to be doing the sort of retool earlier. And all of a sudden now it seems like Pat Verbeek is the new GM there, I think,
Yeah.
right? And it's back to full on rebuild. They're blowing it up again.
Yeah.
So there's just this awful struggle. Obviously, Dallas Eakins, former Oilers coach.
Yeah. And
A little bit of a joke going on there.
yeah, well, MGD in the chat with the Eakins, with the swarm defense, LOL, right? Like, man, the rebuilding team just gives me such a flashback to the 13-14 Oilers. You have a bit of skill with Zegras. I know they were also missing Troy Terry tonight. They weren't missing Jamie Drysdale. They're missing a number of players, but they're not a really good team right now. But obviously, if you get Connor Bedard, anything can happen. Like we saw what happened when the Oilers got McDavid. Before we continue on and talk about the rest of the game, I just want to let's say what's up to us, all the people that have joined us. Simply Brain, YOLO McSwags, and I don't think I've recognized either of your names from the past. So thank you for joining us. Welcome back to MGD Dark Fighters. Wise Kyle, who is absolutely probably having the time of his life, telling me how about the bets he won. He called it. You were right. Full credit to you, Wise Kyle. You never swayed. You were always had belief in Jack, and Jack proved you right tonight. So good on you. One other thing before we keep going, we got 27 people watching. There's 17 likes. Go ahead, hit the like button. Let's aim for, it's pretty obvious what the like goal should be tonight. It's got to be L50N. It works on Twitter. It doesn't work on the broadcast. It doesn't.
L50 on.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue. Like it's kind of got some Ritu Peck vibes. Not good. But let's aim for 50 likes tonight. Smash that, guys. And yeah, I think obviously like Leon Draisaitl has just taken over the last month. Like the Oilers have a guy on their team who has 146 points, and in last month he's arguably been the second best player on your team. The best line for the Oilers tonight in my eyes was the Yamamoto, Evander Kane, Leon Draisaitl line.
Easily.
And you know what's wild about that? Again, the guy with 146 points is not on your best line. Your best line, your second best line has two 100-point scorers. Think about that. Like honestly, the top six right now, it's an embarrassment of riches.
It's insane, and you're right. Like we're blessed with these two generational superstars. If Draisaitl wasn't on the Oilers, if he was anywhere else, he would be the bona fide superstar of that team. But that's what I love. It seems like Draisaitl and McDavid, that chemistry they have together, they've come up together through thick and thin, and there's just no indication, no sign that either of them want to leave ever. Cap it off by winning a cup. Whew, we have this insane tandem for God knows how many years, 10 years, 20 years, if they continue to play that long.
Oh my God, yeah. It's Crosby, Malkin, it's Gretzky, Messier, it's Lemieux, Yager. It's that kind of level of greatness that we're seeing unfold. They're obviously their numbers are both. I know some people say, "Oh, McDavid, Draisaitl is a product of McDavid." Whatever. McDavid is just as much a product of Draisaitl. It is a symbiotic relationship that we have between the two. Right. That as long as they stay together in Edmonton on a team like this, like. And you see, like, just the creativity that Evan Bouchard shows, like, on the shifts where they're hemming it. Anaheim in on the what was it? Whose goal? Was it Connor McDavid's goal where they hemmed Anaheim in for, like, 45 seconds, just passing the puck, Harlem Globetrotters level keep away. And you just see, like, the amount of creativity here, the numbers that they're just scratching the surface of the numbers that they're going to put up. And Dostal, when he came in, he was really good. I thought there was no chance of... I keep wanting to say L50 on, but just 50. Because he came in and he robbed Draisaitl from his spot on a one-timer, and I'm like, oh, there it goes. That was going to be it if it was. He robbed McDavid on his first save, and I was like, fuck. I wanted John Gibson, because for some reason he just doesn't matter. John Gibson, there's always a few squeakers to get through, but Dostal, he goalied the Oilers earlier this year, and I was dreaming about... I was scared when he came in.
And hey, there was a couple of chances for Anaheim right after Dostal came in, right? Nurse took that penalty for holding against the boards. I mean, there was a bad giveaway that led to a chance against. Campbell was fantastic on that. Absolutely stared down a guy one-on-one. And of course, there was a whole bunch of activity late from Anaheim. It kind of ended when Draisaitl got that 50th goal. All in all, this is a team where we know if they get up to play, they will beat anyone in the NHL. And if you looked at the start of this game, you could say, yeah, they're not up to play. They're not hitting. We know how hard they can hustle, how much checking, how much physicality the Oilers can bring, because we saw it a couple of nights ago against LA.
Yeah.
But without any of that, they still got this win. They got it in a big way, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that you love to see as well. You don't have to bring your A game. This is Anaheim's not a great team,
No.
and you club them 6-0.
Well, you can't blame them, honestly, for not bringing their A game. Like, when I sat down to watch this game, like, I was excited during the day. I'm always excited when there's an Oilers game upcoming. But, you sit down on the couch. There's, 6 games left in the season. You're like, okay, the last game against LA was so intense. It was so tight. It was so much fun. And then you look at the thing, and it's like, okay, we're playing the Anaheim Ducks. They're missing Troy Terry. Zegras was injured. He might not play. He might play. Who knows? Like, you expect them to win, but you just, when they score, you don't have that same excitement. You're just like, oh, okay. It's more just like, it's kind of just a filler episode if we're talking about in terms of like a television show until we get to the real deal, the end of the season, the grand finale. We got another game against LA, which is, we're going backwards. It's going to be so much fun. And then we're kind of running out the season on a little bit of a lull here, where obviously we're still in milestone territory. Like, we got to see how many goals, how many points can McDavid get. Nugent still got to hit 100. But obviously, and the Oilers are still in a race for top spot in the division. We clinched tonight. Fantastic. I saw someone point out in the chat, and obviously that shouldn't go unsaid. So guaranteed the Oilers have a shot now in the 22-23 playoffs. It's just a matter of where they finish. Edmonton won. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
And Edmonton right now, they've secured that point. They're at 99 points right now. LA did win tonight, so they are at 98. But hey, it's becoming ever more clear that the Oilers are gonna play all the way down to the wire, because there's still that solid chance that they could get first position. It's insane to see what the top 3 teams in the Pacific have been doing. Vegas won again tonight as well. It seems like Vegas, Edmonton, LA, we're all just winning games. So who knows how this is going to end, but it's amazing to see either way. And Edmonton has the best goal differential of all 3 of those teams. They've shown that they can beat Vegas recently. Hopefully the next game against LA on the 4th, they'll show again that LA is no match for Edmonton in their own barn. And if that's the case, I think this team's going all the way to first position. And if it's Winnipeg, if it's Calgary, if it's Seattle, whoever it might be, heck, even if it's like Nashville, if they make some sort of a run, we can own any of those teams. It's easy round 2.
Yeah, I saw in the money puck, I see David says, are we rooting for Calgary? And I think he means if we win the division. I saw the money puck odds before the game ended, so they might have changed. But in terms of who's going to make that final wildcard spot, it looked like Winnipeg was like at 67%. And the thing about Winnipeg is it just scares me. Playing a good goalie like Connor Hellebuck, it scares me. Does not matter how good you are, anyone could get goal. The 2 most unathletic guys talking about sports. This should be a useless conversation. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself, buddy. Oh my God, get a life. Get a life. What is it? Dylan Sparks. Great. The trolls are here now. Yeah.
Trolls are here, but hey, you know what? Insert last name. You're not even able to put your name out there. So
that means we made it. We got haters.
Have zero respect for you, buddy. Love to see it. David, like you said, are we rooting for Calgary? Honestly, I'd love to see Calgary Edmonton again, round 1. I have full faith that we can blow up Markstrom. I don't know about oh my God, what is their backup goaltender again?
For Calgary, Dan Vladar.
Dan Vladar. Yeah, I was like, Wolf? No, Wolf's still in the minors. Yeah, Vladar, they might have to play him against Edmonton because we have a history of just blowing up Markstrom, and that nothing about their offensive core scares me at all. So there's Calgary's chances. If it's Nashville, good luck. Leon's just gonna absolutely dominate. It would suck to have to blow up Tyson Barrie after trading him away if we meet him in round one of the playoffs and we have to handshake him on the way into round two. That would suck for him. But I bring on the playoffs. I'm fine with any of these teams, even if it's against LA. That's going to be hella interesting, and we should have no problem blowing up their goaltending.
Yeah, and John Speed in chat says, "LOL, Ken Holland is reacting to his call with Barry on Sportsnet." So yeah, he's on After Hours tonight. It's something I'm definitely going to check out after. But Bernardo Gonzalez says, "Can't lie, the run that the Oilers are on reminds me of the Pens in 2016, right before they won the Cup. Both were dominant in the new year." Yeah, absolutely. The Oilers are definitely a second half team. And welcome. I don't think I've seen you comment before, so also welcome to the show. But, the Oilers are definitely a second half team. I know Bob Stauffer put it out there that since Jay Woodcroft has been hired, that he has the Oilers have the best record in the Western Conference over his entire tenure. The Oilers are like 24, 5-6 now in the last 42 games, 40 games, something like that. 30 something games. I don't even know. But
it's amazing to see like when we were still living in Tippett era versus now. It's unbelievable. And you know what, Zach? I just wanted to take a moment because I know it's in the middle of the show, but this has been such an amazing ride with you. Getting on to do these games post game so raw. A game like tonight, I think you can all tell I'm usually a pretty reserved guy, but this win has just gotten me fired up. The way that they've been playing has gotten me fired up.
Mhm.
Draisaitl, my favorite current Oiler, has gotten me absolutely fired up. This is an insane push, and you know what? I think this is the year. Like in the past, we've always said, you know what? Hey, there's a chance we can win the cup. There's a chance we can win the cup. I seriously believe this is the year. I don't know who's coming out of the East, if it's Boston, Carolina,
Toronto.
heck, you know what? If it's Toronto, Tampa, I don't know who's coming out of the East. It's going to be a gong show. But I still think we can beat any one of them. We beat Boston. We've beaten Carolina.
Yeah. Why not us?
Do any of that.
Why not us? Why not us? Yeah, man. I'm just thank you. Obviously, same goes for you as well. But yeah, I was so jacked up watching that Leon celebration after the 6-0 goal when he just put it in and just pumped so hard behind the net. That was not a normal. Like you see the celebration on the first goal that he scored, the 2-0 goal, when he kind of cuts in backhander, roofs it over Gibson. Phenomenal goal, and doesn't even celebrate. Just checks John Gibson to make sure he's okay. What sportsmanship shown by Leon Draisaitl. What a teammate. What a player. What a guy. Obviously. Phenomenal. But after that goal, you know what got me even more fired up? When they shot of Evander Kane, I can't remember who he was talking to on the bench, and you just hear the crowd say, "Whoa, living on a prayer." Oh my God, the goosebumps. And you just hear the crowd ignite, because for me, I went to my first ever Oilers playoff game last year, and I swear to God, I still have hearing damage. I was at the 7-0 drubbing of LA last year at Rogers Place, and that is by far the best game I have ever been to in my entire life. And oh man, the excitement that's coming, and we're just on the cusp, we're just on the edge, and this is just your sneak preview. Back to back, 2 shutouts. You win this hard, intense, physical game against your direct opposition. You beat them at their own game. Then you come into this game, a game where you could be sloppy, and they were sloppy early on for sure, but they just woke up, they outskilled, they outchanced, and they were the Edmonton Oilers that we expected. My God, you are right, man. Just talking about it, I'm getting goosebumps again. I'm so excited.
Exactly. It's just that feeling of excitement that it's so hard to explain to like a non-sports fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I'm listening to the crowd. They're singing, they're jamming out to ABBA. Whatever the DJ DJ could not do anything wrong tonight. Everything that he put on was an absolute banger. Obviously, there were so many scenes on Oilers Twitter of people throwing their hats, watching the cleanup crew, and when you have just a Saturday night game and it's like a late game, everyone lets a little bit loose, right?
Absolutely.
That's when the most fun moments are. You get people just high-fiving in the stands. Everyone's just having such a great time.
The drinks are flowing.
The drinks are easily flowing. Maybe wallets will feel the damage tomorrow.
Oh my god, yeah. 3 beers and you're down $85. But yeah, no, it's funny. And Dylan Sparks says, or Darkfighters first says, I wish I was there. And yeah, like I wish I was there too. You're right, Dennis. Those Saturday night games at Rogers Place. And again, last year I went to by far the most Oilers games that I've ever been to personally. And I remember being there on a Saturday night win against the Tampa Bay Lightning where they beat him 4-1. Mikko Koskinen was phenomenal. Dry scored. And that before that 7-0 game, that was the most fun game I've ever been to. I've never heard a crowd like that. So, man, do we get rowdy. And I know Dylan Sparks brought it up in chat, the Moss Pit. He says he's going down to Rogers Place to take part in the festivities. There is nothing like the Moss Pit. I know Maple Leaf Square was first, blah, 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 whatever. But, man, that place is just banging. You can't move 2 inches. It is a giant square, and you are jam-packed with 50,000 other Oilers fans all screaming and yelling and having the time of their lives as the Oilers go on. Like, man, after the win against Calgary, the second round, when you see 104th Ave, oh my god.
Dude, the fact that the arena was vibrating, right? Like, this is not the Saddle Dome. This is not an old arena. Rogers Place just has so many people in it, all jumping, all vibing, where the entire structure is like, hey, I feel parts of the building moving. That's something that you just cannot replicate.
Yeah, I mean, there was a false readings on the Richter scale last year when Edmonton was going off in the playoffs. Like there were some false alarms there. So no, Edmonton can get rocking. I know George LaRock likes to talk about how like in 2006 it was the loudest building you could ever play in. Duncan Keith, who played, he won 3 Stanley Cups in Chicago, said there was nothing like playing in Edmonton in the playoffs last year. He's like, you feel like a gladiator when you go out on the ice and you walk through the tunnel and you're walking out and they're playing, oh my god, they're playing like Enter Sandman and everything's quiet, the lights are off and they're all walking onto the ice. There's nothing that just gasses you up more. There's nothing more awesome. When 45 minutes before puck drop, all 18,000 people are sitting in their seats, there's nothing like, no one does it like Edmonton. I know people like to say, oh yeah, Winnipeg, they're the loudest. Oh yeah, Montreal. No, not even close. No one does it like Edmonton. If you think there's somewhere else, you haven't been to you haven't been to Edmonton. That's all I've got.
Exactly. You've never been into an Edmonton Oilers playoff rush. You're right. Like Winnipeg, they did the whole, towel waving. And...
Well, think about this. How many other teams can sell out a building when their team is playing an away game? Think about that.
Doesn't matter. If we're watching this on the screen, that's cool because the Oilers are more than just a team. They're a vibe. They're a lifestyle. You see so many people dedicated and they're from all walks of life, different ages, and all of them can come together, watch a game, celebrate the wins, revel in the losses and be like, hey, you know what? We'll get them next time. It's just an unbelievable feeling. And I know there's been talk about Madison Square Garden and hockey in the States and how it's been growing. There's nothing that beats Edmonton.
No.
Like, we're a small market, but we're a small market that cares.
Oh my god, in terms of the NHL, because we all just spend so much money on the team, we're like a top 10 revenue it makes no sense from an outside perspective. You were just some third party looking, you're like, okay, New York, Boston, Chicago, Toronto, why is a city with like under 1 million people in northern Canada generate so much revenue for the NHL? Like, that's a little weird. But even just talking to what you were saying before, like, again, I've been to a ton of Oilers games, but I live in Calgary, right? So it's they're only 3 hours away, but the difference in the city's mindsets towards the hockey teams could not be farther apart. If you go to Edmonton, every single person you meet, it does not matter how old, what they look like, where they're from, anything. They all love the Oilers. You're walking down Jasper Avenue, there's Oilers stuff everywhere. You're at West Ed, there's always someone in an Oilers jersey, Oilers hat, shirt, whatever. When you're in Calgary, there's none of that. You do not see Flame stuff anywhere. If you did not know that they had an NHL team, you would know. If you were unaware of the Flames, you would not know there's a hockey team here. Like Max Kellerman said about hockey, there are 20,000 fans in Calgary. They're all at the game. That's it. There's such a different mindset towards the teams here. Edmonton, you're right. It's built in. It's entrenched in the culture in the city. And
I will jump in because Wise Kyle has pointed out, hey, Zach, I know you're from Calgary, so we won't hold it against him, right, chat? Edmonton has peaked over 1 million people now.
Oh, okay, excuse me.
Let's go. But it's just a totally different vibe. Literally today, I was driving, stopped at a stoplight. I had my Oilers cap on. You've seen one of the many caps that I have that I cycle through on this show. And just this other dude wearing a jersey, looking over from his car. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. Give the little subtle nod. It's a totally different breed here. Hockey. Edmonton is hockey.
Absolutely.
You talk to someone in Edmonton, if you bring up the Oilers, 50% of the time, you're going to be best friends with them.
100%.
There may be a couple of differences of opinion, and there always are with players and how contracts are and all that. But end of the day, everyone loves this team in this city.
Absolutely. For years. It's been entrenched in the culture since the Oilers got there, since 1979-80, since Wayne Gretzky's rookie season in the NHL. They've always been the number one trending thing in Edmonton. And one thing I do want to say, we got 57 people watching now. We only got 26 likes. We got to hit 50 likes for Leon before the end of the show. We absolutely have to do it. Let's shift on back. We can talk about, the players in the game for a little bit more. Just been man, because we're so close to playoffs. We're right on the cusp. That's all I can think about. It's like before the trade deadline. 3 games before the trade deadline. We talk about the game for 5 minutes, and then we just break down possible transactions for the next hour. Now it's like, okay, we beat Anaheim. Fantastic. And again, we're playing Anaheim again. Then we have San Jose. Like, it's just going to be a bunch of these games where you're like, oh my God, get to the playoffs already, right? So it's so tough, but we're all so excited. All 60 people watching right now are so excited. So it's awesome. It's just awesome, man.
It's insane, right? And you mentioned it's Saturday night. It's 11:21 Mountain Time. There's people from all over the world. 60 people right now are watching us live. That's the dedication to this team. I wanted to bring up, we've talked about him a lot, but the Eckholm acquisition has just been so vital.
Absolutely.
Like, assisted on the Hyman goal tonight.
Yep.
Just a clean shot that Hyman was able to tip home. Assisted on the Draisaitl shorthanded goal. And part of me questions why he and Draisaitl were out there when you're up 5-0. Well, but hey,
how bad was Nashville that they actually considered moving this guy? If this guy was an Oiler, he wouldn't even be in the conversation of this. I don't even know how the Oilers got him. Man, what a good job by Ken Holland to do that. But yeah, no, and these aren't just regular breakout passes where McDavid or Draisaitl's doing some crazy wizardry to get a shot on net. Eckholm is starting the plays and he's driving the plays. He is one of the main factors that Hyman goal went in. That pass was phenomenal, and it just kind of goes off Hyman and leaks through Gibson. And then same with the Draisaitl goal, the awareness to get it to draw in the Anaheim defender and get it up to Leon, and you just see Leon streaking down the way, and you're like, it's over. 20 seconds before Leon crossed the blue line, the hats were coming down, right? That was phenomenal. Way to do it in style. And I believe last year he got 50 against the Ducks too.
I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't put it
because he was on his knees. I remember I can picture the highlight in my head, and he fell over, and it was a whole thing, and he raised his hands in the air like that. Yeah, I think it was.
Dude, it's insane to think about. You can see when Draisaitl is just thinking about nothing but goals. during the third period, there were times when he was taking shots at the goal line. He was just slapping pucks on net. There was never a time when Leon thought to defer in this game, right? Once he got a second, from that point on, you knew he was getting the hat trick because he was taking shots from anywhere. He was taking any opportunity, rarely passing off to Kane and Yamamoto after that. There were a couple times which Yamo he didn't bury any tonight, but
he was getting chances.
He had so many chances.
Yeah.
Kane obviously had a couple of chances.
Leon
early.
had some beautiful passes to Kane, even with like 3 minutes left. A couple just backhands. Leon's facing the boards, looking into the crowd, and just finds Kane, 30 feet away, wide open in the slot. You just see Kane just shaking his head, laughing at the sheer ridiculousness that Leon even was able to find him with the puck. Man, these guys they're gelling. Everyone's clicking at the right time, and we were both, I want to say, worried, 5, 6, 7 games ago about Yamamoto and Kane, I say, right? Like, they weren't clicking whatsoever. It was as simple as switching the centers, and both lines are flying. Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And I wanted to point out the fact that Leon was feeding Kane a bunch of passes that didn't go, but Kane to Leon on his first goal, that was a nice pass as well. Like, there's something about Leon Draisaitl where if he gels with a line, that line is going to dominate. We saw that with Nuge and Yamo, a couple seasons ago. There's something about Draisaitl once he gets used to patterns, maybe the way people skate, where their positions are going to be. He makes those, eyes in the back of his head sorts of plays and passes just so effortlessly. And he's always been effortless. Every single goal he scored tonight, there was no celebration until the third shorthanded goal. Absolutely. He rarely lets emotions get to him, right?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, absolutely. You see it with Connor and Leon. You see, like, again, in that lull, in that game 30 to 60 stretch, the celebrations kind of really died down and they're scoring, but it's like it's like this monotonous flow of games, and it's that really just I don't even know. It's like the dry season. It's
the dry season. There we go.
They're just waiting for the playoffs. That's where this team is now. They're just in that. The regular season's awesome. The milestones are awesome, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the playoffs, and we're so close to it. It goes by so fast. I know you got to cherish the regular season. You got to remember the moments like McDavid's 60th, who got a 62nd goal tonight, which we're 8 away from 70. I don't know if he could do it. It's going to be a really tough task. But
it's going to be a tough one, but hey, it's Connor McDavid. Never count him out. Nuge is on pace for his 100. He got to 97 points tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Nurse had a career
high in points. On that goal he scored a nice shot, and he almost had another one. I believe it went just off the outside of the post, or he just missed the net. But Nurse was moving it tonight. Back-to-back games for Nurse that are phenomenal. Again, everyone's clicking at the right time. This is the ideal way you do it. This is how teams win. This is how it happens. So this team is special. That's what I have to say. That's what my analysis comes down to. The team is special.
I just realized as well, I'm just looking at that stat sheet. Draisaitl has scored a goal in every state of play. 5-on-5, power play, and shorthanded.
Oh, yeah.
How many guys can do that?
Oh, and I know, and everyone on Twitter yells, Draisaitl's a power play merchant, Draisaitl's a power play merchant. Man, it's going to be tough for the Oilers when power play they stop counting power play goals in the playoffs, right? It's going to be really tough.
It's so silly to think that, like, oh, yeah, he can only get it done. But let's acknowledge the fact it's not that he can only get it done on the power play. He has 50 goals. He scored 30 on the power play this year. That means 20 have come in 5-on-5 or shorthanded. I don't know if he scored any other shorthanded.
Again, power plays happen in the playoffs. Like, they don't go away. And I know some people like saying, the refs stopped calling. I mean, it's been proven last year that the Oilers actually got more power plays in the playoffs than they did at least per game than in the regular season. And I saw Stony Oil on Twitter say tonight when Dry scored shorthanded, he called him, he's like, shorthanded merchant doesn't count. You know what I mean? Got the reverse. That made me laugh. Like, yeah, that was a good one, I thought. But yeah, Leon's phenomenal. Leon is cooking. Leon turned it on. And who was in chat? Lucas. Lucas points out that the high ankle sprain was bothering him even up to a couple months ago, and it looks like he's healthy right at the right time. So, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx anything, but man, Leon's cooking. And when Leon gets cooking, you better watch out because no one is more dominant with the puck down low in the offensive zone, cycling so strong. And, and I know we're talking about Leon's game similar to that. Evander Kane tonight, and I thought it's just been this almost parabolic ramp up, or I don't even know if that's the right word. I'm not a math guy, but what's the one? Exponential. That's what I meant. Parabola. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Yeah, I'm a communications major, so But anyways, Evander Kane, just a completely exponential ramp up in terms of his puck play. Like watching him protect the puck and making passes tonight. His first pass to Leon on the first goal, right? Something that 5 or 6 games ago I wouldn't have even thought possible. All of a sudden, Evander Kane's playing like a top 6 winger in the NHL. He's getting chances. He's protecting the puck. He's not killing the play. He's able to keep it going, keep the puck alive, and generate better opportunities for his teammates. I was very impressed with Kane.
The hands are there. And, last game, he was hitting so much. He led the entire game for every player in hits. I think he had 8 or 9 hits last game. This game as well, Bertrano had that sequence where he held up Draisaitl on the first period. Yeah. Dry kind of falls a little awkwardly. And Kane immediately, you don't want to unnecessarily rile up a team, but I feel like the Ducks weren't doing things that were too dirty, and that might have been because Kane, right in the first period, smoked a guy against the boards when he tried to pull anything that was a little bit off, uncouth.
Yeah, well, for that thing, when I saw it, when I saw that at first, I didn't really even think much of it. I was like, oh yeah, Kane, whatever, stirring up. But then when, I can't remember who it was at intermission, whether it was Friedman or Rudy, compared that to what happened to Dry with Mikey Anderson and then showed what Kane did, I got so angry. I was like, go, you sail off into the sunset, Vetrano. What are you doing hitting Leon Draisaitl like that into the boards with 5 games left in the regular season? Go, sign up for your golf round in 2 weeks. Relax. Stop it. Stop. Get some help. That was ridiculous. And I'm glad Evander Kane put him into the boards. That was really good to see. There was one thing I saw, and I want to see. Oh, yeah. What do you think is more likely this year? Do you think McDavid hits 70 goals, or do you think Vincent Desharnais hits 1 goal?
Oh, man. You know what? Vinny had 1 shot tonight, and that found the small of Derek Ryan's back.
Oh man, that was tough. That's a
tough look. I'm never gonna bet against Connor McDavid. So yes. I have more faith than McDavid's gonna get to a 70 than Desharnais. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. I'm sorry, Vinny. Don't beat me up. You're 2 feet taller than me or some shit. Mm-hmm. I don't know. At least dude's a Hulk. Dude's a monster.
I'm right there with you. I think for some reason Vincent Desharnais though gives me the vibes of a guy who it's gonna be 1-1 in a really tight game in the playoffs, and in the third period with 10 minutes left, Vincent Desharnais is gonna score. You know what I mean? He's just that unlikely hero.
Can you imagine another big game-breaking moment in the playoffs scored by a Desharnais?
Exactly. Oh, that's honestly a top 10 moment in the last 30 years for the Oilers. Since 2006, that's probably a top 5 moment beside McDavid's overtime goal, McDavid's game 7 goal, and then I'd say Desharnais' goal, the Klefbom tying, and then the Desharnais overtime goal. Oh, and now we have our Swedish left defenseman back who can score with bombs like that from the side. Oh man, we're sitting well. And again, knock on wood. I'm not trying to jinx anything. Anything can happen. It is the playoffs, and I want to reiterate that. But man, we are sitting good. We're all feeling good tonight.
Can you blame us? And if folks from other markets are watching the show, first off, thank you for watching an Edmonton focused show. Mm-hmm. I know sometimes we can be a little bit insufferable when we're talking about hockey, but can you blame us on a night when Draisaitl pots his 50th and McDavid has the possibility of hitting, 150 points this season? Nuge is nearing 100 points. What is it? The Oilers have 4 80 point producers?
They have 4. Yeah, Hyman got
4.
80 tonight. Yeah. Nuge is 97 now. Draisaitl is 120, and McDavid is 146.
Exactly. Like, can you blame us for getting hype about this team? Everyone on the roster tonight, and I know this includes Broberg, who is sitting out, but I have full faith that every one of these players will contribute in a meaningful way in the playoffs. Derek Ryan, I'm sure he's gonna pot one goal that saves something. He's gonna end up being like a Fernando Pisani figure to some young child who's watching this playoff series as his first foray into playoff hockey. Devin Shore, you saw on the bench as he was hopping back up there. McDavid gave him a little pat, a little genuine smile. Devin Shore, I feel like he's gonna make a good contribution in some way, shape, or form.
Well,
Janmark Costin, okay, the list goes on.
Well, I agree with you on the Janmark Costin. I think Devin Shore's best contribution should be similar to what it was last year when he was celebrating in the tunnel with Connor McDavid. You know what I mean?
A locker room guy.
Yes, exactly. It's my mind. Because again, I'm not sure, we've been running for a while now, so we'll kind of run it down and just talk about what's going on. But in the playoffs, there's a guy who has 4 goals in 6 games with Bakersfield who will be on the roster when the playoffs start. His name's Dylan Holloway. He hits, he skates, he fights. He's fought before. He's feisty as hell, and he's really good. Ryan McLeod as well will be in there. And I'm not sure you guys saw Bob Stauffer send out the bat signal, sound the alarm that, hey, keep your eye on Raphael Lavoie. To me, that means that more likely than not, when the Oilers go on their next California road trip here, Raphael Lavoie gets in a game. That's what I'm thinking. And Lavoie has 40 points in his last 42 AHL games, and he's been outstanding, one of the best producers in the AHL. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Like the Black Aces, they're all going to have their shot, right? In the playoffs, things happen, guys get banged up. I think, 100% Ryan McLeod is going to factor in for the playoffs. Dylan Holloway, he'll be in this game for sure. I don't know if it's going to be right during game 1 of the playoffs, but we'll find out pretty shortly.
He will.
And Raphael Lavoie, he's been absolutely heating up. There's just so much potential on this team, and there's like a boundless opportunity.
Well, I know, yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, you go. You finish your thought. It's hard over Zoom. Zoom sometimes, man, it's hard to tell when someone's done it. People
when someone's going.
Exactly.
And I do the whole thought process thing. But yeah, like this team has a bunch of people, and I sort of encompassed it in my last statement, but everyone on this team, I feel like, belongs here. Everyone on this team has a role to play, and Raphael Lavoie is no exception to that. He's going to have a role to play. If not this playoff push, the next year, the next playoff push.
Yeah.
I just have so much faith in everyone in this organization right now. And it's funny, if you asked us prior to the trade deadline, maybe if you asked us in December, we would have a very different answer.
Oh, yeah.
But
totally
right
agree.
now, there's no one on this team that I think is a detriment.
I'm right there with you. The Oilers win a phenomenal game. We've been going for almost 45 minutes. We can't go for too long or else...
Sorry, Adam.
Exactly. But, yeah, it's a phenomenal game. I think last thing I just want to touch on is the Oilers go 12-6 tonight. I think it makes sense against Anaheim. You kind of evenly distribute the ice time. You don't tax anyone. You don't tax McDavid and Draisaitl specifically, and it looks McDavid played 18 minutes. Draisaitl still almost played 21 minutes, but for the most part, your lowest guy was Costin at 9:55, and it seems like everyone else in the team settled in around that 15 to 17 minute mark, so that was great to see. Even the defensemen, you don't really have anyone over 21 minutes, and for some reason, Nurse was. You have Nurse who played 23 essentially still too, but I still think against LA you're best off going 11-7. Because you're able to get out a McDavid or a Draisaitl against LA's fourth line, and that creates a significant advantage, obviously, for the Edmonton Oilers. Simply Brain in the chat, who's been very active, thanks for joining us, says no 4 minutes of Broberg tonight. I agree. I still would like to see Philip Broberg in the lineup just because I think Philip Broberg needs to be in the lineup because, again, this is a long-term thing. Shit or get off the pot with Philip Broberg, essentially. But yeah, Civ says trying to get the host to Freudian slip a cider in. Well, there's your more cider mention. He's good. No
He's
Leon Draisaitl. Yeah, okay, Detroit's got a good player in cider. Good. Yeah, good.
Germany has been up and at 'em. Like it's great to see as a hockey fan.
Yep.
Having more and more players come from non-traditional hockey markets.
I would love a Team Germany Leon Draisaitl jersey.
Yeah,
Mhm.
dude, that looks so sick. The black and yellow. One thing I wanted to touch upon in the playoffs as well, and when it goes to the 11-7 versus 12-6 debate, one thing I do want to bring into that discussion as well. Injuries happen, right? And injuries happen frequently mid-game. Are you more comfortable going 10-7 if you miss miss a dude up front, or are you more comfortable going 12-5 if you end up having an injury in the back? To me,
yeah, you go
10-6,
Oh.
right? Sorry, 10-7 easily.
Yes, yeah. You go with. I'm saying 7D, and you take what you can on forward, because you have horses up front. You have 5 guys who are all capable of playing 23, 24, 26 minutes. I always think back to that game, the game 4 against Winnipeg in the bubble again, when they went to like triple overtime and Darnell Nurse was on the ice for 62 minutes. Like, you have horses on this team. You have guys capable of minute munching. You have Eckholm now, who also is capable of minute munching. So it is what it is. I have no worries about any of that kind of stuff. I don't even like thinking about injuries. It's bad luck. But on that note, it's Saturday night. I'm sure everyone wants to go out. Everyone wants to enjoy themselves. I'm glad. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I want to thank Travis, Lucas, Civ, Simply Brain for coming, MGD who went to bed later, Wise Kyle, everyone who's active. We got the regulars, and it seems like every day we're getting new people in the chat. So I want to thank everyone again for joining us. We are currently at 36 likes. Be sure, hit that like button. When I check back tomorrow, I want to see at least 50 for Leon. So yeah, that's awesome to see. Dennis, any final words?
That's it for me, man. Next game, it's Tuesday, April 4th. It's that rematch against the LA Kings. It's going to be a fun one, but it's going to be a late one. 8:30 Mountain is the puck drop. Zach and I will be back. So
absolutely, we will be back. We will have that for you on Game Over Edmonton. So be there. Be sure to join us for that show. I'm going to leave you on Oilers win 6-0. Draisaitl, 50 goals. Jack Campbell, first shutout as an Edmonton Oiler. Everyone take care. Have a great night, and let's play La Bamba, baby.
Yeah!